What's up, guys? Welcome back to One Lap Down podcast. I'm your host, Jesse. Alongside with me is everybody's favorite, Shane Jewell. Welcome back. Seen a lot of y'all seem to enjoy our first episode, so we appreciate all the support. Real quick, I'm going to let Shane take over and announce our sponsors.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for a great week last week. We're going to try to make this week even better if I don't knock down my computer here. But first of all, we'd like to thank Optimum Power Sports, Dollar Cycles, Cowtown Cattle, and especially this week, Dirt Lab Concepts is giving us a promo code. You can reach them at www.dirtlabconcepts.com. Use promo code OneLapDown for 15% off your next order. So how's it going, guys? I'm going to bring on Jordon Fancher. He's our guest for this week. We're going to do a little traditional go-around, non-traditional go-around, but we're going to bring him on, and we're going to have some laughs and some fun, and maybe since we're in visual mode now, everybody can kind of grasp who we are and that sort of thing. I know some people know my voice, some people know my Facebook, and some people know me by, my me, so they'll get to know you by the same too. So
I don't know
right now we're going to welcome in. What now?
I don't know which one's worse.
Yeah, I don't know myself. Right now, we're going to welcome in Jordon Fancher from Monster Mountain MX. Get him on right now. 3, 2, 1. What's up, Jordon?
What's up, guys?
What's going on, buddy?
Shane, Jesse, thank y'all for having me tonight.
Anytime.
Yes, sir. Anytime. All right. So, we know you're training down at Monster alongside with Kendall Mason down there, and got some fan questions for you tonight, and I've also got some questions of my own. I know Jesse's got some of his. First off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and let the people that don't know Jordon Fancher kind of learn a little bit about you?
Yes, I'm Jordon Fancher, and I am Alabama born and raised. I'm 23. I just finished my marketing degree at the University of Alabama, and I love motocross. Alabama motocross is where my heart is, and I'm happy to continue to build Alabama motocross here at Monster Mountain Training Academy.
Good deal. So this year you went to Loretta Lynn's, got your pro license, I hear, which I was there all week, but got to see you ride around the track and enjoy yourself all week. Probably not the results you were looking for, but hey, anytime you come home healthy, and this year the bike came home semi-intact, so we'll take that. I know you had a good time, so tell us a little bit about that week.
Yeah, hey, the week at Loretta's, I always go in with an open mind. I know we probably ain't put in the work as the other people on the gate of 250 Pro Sport, but for me to just be on that gate, it was awesome. I mean, it was a dream come true. I mean, I started Alabama motocross in an 85D class. If you would have told a 12-year-old Jordon Fancher that in 11 years you'd be on the 250 Pro Sport gate, he would have never believed you. But I don't have many complaints. Yeah, the results may have not been what most people look at as great, but it was a dream come true to be out there with those guys. To look down the line, DeFrancisco, Hymas, Braswell, all these guys that are going places. Hey, you're on the track with them. You were on the best of the best gate at Loretta's this year. So I was stoked. I always go with an open mindset. I always enjoy the week at Loretta's. We go in, we have fun. We don't go in with high expectations, but we always are happy to come home healthy. And yeah, the bike had a few dents this year, but not near as crazy as 2021. That was gnarly.
Yeah, I wish I had some video of that I could post, but I honestly I wasn't even prepared for that. So got a little insight earlier. Maybe when you was in the 85D class, you had a special trainer that might be with us.
I did. I wonder who that could be. Jesse, you want to speak on that?
Yeah, that was going to be my first question to you. Was for the people who don't know, who was your very first MX school you went
to? Yeah, my very first MX school out at Warrior MX Park, man. It was the one and only Jesse Aaron.
And if you want, I mean, I'm not bragging, but if you would like to say that you still use some of those skills I taught you to get to where you're at today. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, that day of training really shaped me to who I am today. That's what I said. And that's what we're going to tell your son too. It
Yeah.
was. This is where this Rifton. This is all dad.
Would you? Hey, I actually tried to tell him that I did train you one time, and he does not believe me.
I have to tell him.
And he's seen me ride, and dude, I was one of Jordan's first, and he was like, "Nah, Jordan's way faster than you. There's no way you taught him anything." And I'm like,
yeah. "Oh no, hey, that don't mean nothing. Look at Alden Baker. How fast you think Alden Baker can go on a dirt bike, and he's pumping out champions every year."
Oh, I get it. But so, Shane, what is it? I lost it again. What is it that you have labeled Jordan as?
It's Alabama's favorite son.
That's right. So, how does that feel, Jordan? Because my opinion, I think you wear it very well. I think it suits you.
Oh yeah, well, I definitely don't deny that. I felt like I built a really good name for myself in Alabama, but that slogan right there, it may catch on after the Facebook post last week that Shane put up.
You need a butt patch. You need a butt patch.
Yeah, we might get some butt patches.
Oh,
but it was
J-Dub's guy. J-Dub's guy.
Yeah.
He's got all them butt patches. You need to get hooked up with him. Like, get you a butt patch. So, and heck, all the ladies be looking at your butt then. So.
Yeah. Well,
I can't run butt patches. I don't make banners big enough for mine.
Yeah, but no, it was. I don't mind being called that for sure. I hope to be an inspiration to the kids around Alabama and outside of Alabama. The post last week definitely took off more than what we ever would have dreamt of. It skyrocketed. My phone was blowing up like crazy. I was getting phone calls. I was getting texts, Snapchats. If you could contact me by any source, it was coming in. And TikTok even too. I ain't a big TikTok guy, but it was blowing up on TikTok.
It got a little wild there for a minute. I know everybody didn't expect, and let me get something straight here. That was not a knock on Danger Boy about not getting his gate. Let's just knock that out of the ballpark. It was any privateer out there that could have deserved that spot. And I went into why, and we're gonna have Mike Burkeen on here one of these days, and we're gonna get to the bottom of why that was even allowed anyway. Whatever. We'll skip off that rabbit hole, and we'll get away from that. Main thing we want to talk to you. What now?
Let's get back local real quick.
Yeah, local. Yeah, Monster Mountain Training Academy. I know you're working with Keith Kingsfield down there, and Kendall Mason as your training partner. How's that going down there?
And it's going great. To really, this opportunity arose to me a couple months ago. It's one I never really thought of in life, to be a motocross trainer for a living. I didn't know what to think about it, but when Keith come to me with the offer and it being in Alabama and helping Alabama kids, it was something I couldn't turn down. And it's something I really enjoy. To wake up every day with Monster Mountain in my backyard, hey, there's no complaints.
So let me interrupt real quick, and because I want to ask you this while it's on my mind. Last week, me and Shane discussed training facilities and using it for, trying to not really compare it, but training facilities for local racing and national level. What's your take on that? How do you feel on kids coming to these training facilities, trying to not really live there, but stay there and try to be a regular, I guess you would say, at these training facilities for no more than Loretta's or Minios or just their local racing?
Yeah, just for local racing, I think it's very beneficial. Now, I was never a training facility kid. I was the kid that went to high school every day.
Same.
And then sit in a college classroom for 5 years.
Same.
So I am definitely a Weekend Warrior fan. But I think the way we're doing things here at Monster Mountain Training Academy with our day trainings or even afternoon trainings with Kendall, he does quite a few. It really caters to the Alabama racer. I'm not one that's going to try to get your kid to drop out of school, homeschool, and do this full time. We want to be an avenue for your average kid. Yes, we do have our full-time kids. Yes, they are striving. It's great. But I don't want to be the guy that's trying to advertise homeschool. We want to be an avenue for your average Alabama racer, your average Georgia racer, anybody in the area who may want to do it, to live that training facility life. We give an avenue and an option for everyone.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm going to put your phone number on here just for a second, a little bit, if they want to contact you, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, of course.
I've got this crawler now going, Jordon Fancher Monster Mountain. So I'm going to put his number up there for just a little while we're talking to Jordon here. And we're going to, try to get some business down there. I know that place is special to me. Right now, I put Jordan's number up there for everyone that wants to go down there. That place is special to me personally. That's mine and my son's favorite track. We love to go ride that place. It's 4 hours from me. We had to make a special drive down there pretty much, and we pretty much have to stay there for the entire weekend or a week of training. But I got to spend some time with you down there this summer, and like I said, you've worked with Brock for probably close to a year now. We did the turn track thing with that at the Hall Brookses, and then now that you're full time down there, we haven't got down there as much as I would like to. We're a public school kid, but I've seen your program. I've seen everything and the hard work you put in. I'm excited for the future of Monster Mountain. I'm excited for the future of Jordon Fancher. I'm just all around excited. And I know we've got a few questions from the outside for you. Kind of involve the training you got going on down there. I got Josh King. He wants to know, he grew up a quad guy and he rode quads. He has very little experience. So his question is, how soon is too soon to start him in training with the coach? He's still learning how to stop, and when he gets his feet down, the bike falls over. I have tried to explain it to him the best I can, and I just keep thinking if I could take him to a trainer who knows more about bikes than I do, my son could pick up things faster.
Yeah, and I guess he really wants to know the age that is a good age for him to start understanding. And honestly, I would shoot for the 3 or 4 age. Every kid has their own path, though. It depends how, what's the word? Maturity. That's a good word for it. As I said, the maturity of your kid. That it might not mean the number, but every kid has their own path. I've seen 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds that I'm able to give really good techniques to and try to send them in the right direction, because we don't want to pick up any bad habits. That's the biggest issue. If you don't get your kid any training until your age 9 to 12, imagine how many bad habits they're going to pick up in those first few years. Yeah. So if you can get to your kid to a trainer early, get on top of those bad habits and get good habits, those are going to pay off all the way until you're my age, into your late teens, early 20s. If you can learn the right habits early, the bad habits will not come near as strong.
You didn't have a lot of bad habits after my school, though, right?
Right.
Hey, I was about to give you props. I was like, Jordon rides pretty good. Balls on his feet. He stands up, flows around. I was going to say, Jesse, you did a good job, dude.
Yeah. It is. He just didn't. I mean, that era of riding, Jesse just kind of portrayed it, I guess, didn't he? Because I mean, that was the hurlings. That all come from Europe.
I had done retired the first time when hurlings and all that come along.
I know. Hey, the riding styles changed, though. It has. In the past 10 years, it's amazing how riding styles change, and it's something that I try to adapt in my riding, and I try to teach also.
Yeah, riding styles have changed so much, and it seems like it's constantly changing too. It's like every time you watch a pro national supercross, or even if you go to a big national event, it's like you always see a handful of guys or kids that just something's different, but it works and it's working, and it's very very impressive, and it's at the same time I guess it's very neat to see it too. But yeah, riding style is crazy how much, because I'll go back and I'll watch old supercrosses sometimes, like the McGrath Carmichael days, and even when Stewart was kind of coming in, 90% of your guys, they just as mannequins, and now it's just like if you're not moving something, you're not riding.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's crazy to watch these, like Sexton. To me, if you watch Chase Sexton and you watch Jordan, they're very similar. Maybe it's the long, like 97-foot long legs or something. I don't know what it is, but their flow, and sometimes you can't teach that. I mean, I Jordan knows my child struggled for the longest time with the old flying W into the turn. The kid would come into the turn, like throw both legs off and lean it over and just hope he got around it, But after some time working with him, we finally got that out of the way. So I got one for you, Jordan. I know I've kind of briefed you on this question a little bit earlier. Miss Amy Hall's got a question for you. I know everybody loves Miss Amy. She wanted to know who was your local pro and your pro that you looked up to growing up, and who do you try to mimic in your riding?
Yeah, that's
The local pro
pro.
should be pretty easy to answer right about now.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I've got a lot of local pros that I definitely looked up to over the years. I was a little bit after the Dove, the Ward era. Yeah, I got to watch those ride, but the guy I'd say I looked up to the most through my childhood, who helped me a lot, was Jake Butler.
I'm sorry.
Jake Butler would be the one who I wouldn't be where I was at today if it wasn't for him. He definitely.
Hey, shout out to our boy Jake too, man. He's doing big things. I lived with Jake for a year in college, and he's doing big things with the Yamaha. Was it NSA? Yeah, NSA, Yamaha factory amateur team, whatever you want to call it. Is he working for? Is it Ed or Danny that owns that down there?
Yeah, Danny Lewis.
Danny Lewis. Okay, Danny Lewis. He's what is Jake's title actually? Crew chief.
Head over all mechanics.
Yeah, something like that. But whatever. Doing big things down there. I've watched Jordan clean his bike, and I actually watched him do some of the things that Jake used to do to clean his bike. I know that sounds super weird, but I noticed it. We rode at Colton Ray's house last weekend, and we were hanging out, about to go to dinner, and he's washing his bike over there, and I literally watched him do some of the things that Jake used to do when he'd come back to our apartment and wash his bike or whatever. It was like I was seeing my freshman year of college back all over again. I had to kind of do a double take.
Like I've mimicked Jake all the way from the whips to the bike cleaning, man. It's those weekends I learned from Jake. I don't put water on my seat anymore because of Jake. I mean, there's so much I learned.
Water is not going to hurt the seat.
Yeah, I've learned so much though from that. So said I don't do it to his level. He's still a little bit higher on the bike cleaning than me, but I definitely try to take some of his tips he taught me over the years, from riding to bike cleaning to even being the local guy. Jake was a local ripper there for a little bit for sure.
Yeah, that's the cleanest dude I've ever seen. Like, everything's labeled. It's got a spot. Like, he doesn't put a part in the wrong spot. I mean, that's a good thing to have, with his line of work for sure.
Yeah, it is. Jake's doing big things. I'm excited for him.
Very proud of him. Very proud of him. Oops, I'm clicking off the screen here. Lord have mercy, all over the place. All right, guys. That's probably enough about Monster and enough with Jordan, but we want to keep him on for the rest of the show. We're going to cover some things like we're going to go through Dodge City. I know Jordan's ridden there. I went and checked it out this past weekend. I don't have anything bad to say. Jesse, have you got to go out there yet?
I have not, and I'm ashamed to even say that, because Cam is all of 25 minutes for me, and I have been a slacker and have not made effort to get out there. So please don't call me out on that again.
Dude, hey, this was my first time, and dude, I grew up in the Rocket City era. I don't know if I know Jordan has no idea what.
That's way before me. Way before me.
The Rocket City was like a miniature little Supercross typey track. Like, it was like
riding in the Flintstone era.
Yeah, like it had some peaky jumps, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Cam. And
did you ride JB motocross after it was Rocket City?
Oh, no, JB was across town.
Yeah.
Yeah, JB. Yeah,
Was that Stout? Was that Clark's place?
Well, it
Brazelton.
up taking over it. Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was right across from Dunlop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Dude, that was my very first big bike race. I got protested, like ever. Yeah. The one time someone protested Shane Jewell, you would have thought it would have happened with my mouth. It would have happened a whole lot more. But my dad went and bought me a 125 on Thursday and was like, hey, here's your 125. You want to go race this weekend? I can't touch the ground. Like I couldn't touch. Like I was like 14 years old. I was not blessed like Jordan with the tithe. I was a kind of a runt. And we go out there and there was like 120, 115 foot triple in the back.
Something pretty big.
It was big. It was big. Well, I got up the nerve and let that 125 sing, and I jumped over a dude for the lead in like C class. Like it wasn't even a fast class. And I think the dude was like 30 years old, and he didn't like that some kid jumped this huge jump. He protested me. And OJB looked at him and was like, no, it's C class. He can jump that. Like he literally, I was like, dude, I didn't have numbers on my bike. We had like electrical tape on there. So yeah, but I remember JB. Sorry to get on a tangent.
I want to reminisce too. My first big bike race was the Mill Creek night track on my dad's 02 250F with a compression lever at 12 years old.
You was a lot bigger than me.
Yes, still am. Shut up, but I'm a 12-year-old that could crank a 02 YZ 250F with a compression lever.
Jordan don't even know what that is.
No, that's all before me. But no, so I guess what you talk about, Devaney.
Oh yeah, yes. Back on the subject. Sorry.
Yeah. But Cam Devaney, hey, yeah, he's doing great things out there, and he's one that's very persistent on just constant improvement. I'll enjoy to see it as a fan of Alabama motocross. Cam's got great things in mind for that place and for the North Alabama area. It's great to have because I know that Coleman area, the Dodge City, there's a lot of motocross riders up there right now. It's a hotbed, and if he can take advantage of that with his facility, I think it'll be great.
Yeah,
I love the location, and Dodge City is actually is got a lot of work going on right now. They're adding something all the time, and I think that's a prime location for that Coleman and area.
I agree. It's the hotbed of Alabama motocross, in my opinion. Yep. But the layout of the track too, it's unique. It's nothing like we have anywhere else in Alabama. Going up on the sides of mountains, off camber turns, actually a little bit more aggressive jumps. It's something that I enjoy. And I've talked to some.
They got 10 commandments over there.
Yeah, that's right. And I've talked to some other guys. I even talked to Landon Hartz today, and he went out there this past weekend, and he really enjoyed it. He had good things to say, and I'm sure Cam's got more improvements to be made. Yeah. So I'm excited to see the process of it. So
I actually went down Sunday. They got to ride on Saturday. I was actually on my way down Sunday. My son spent the night with his grandparents or whatever, and so we skipped Saturday. And if I had it to do all over again, I'd have went Saturday and got to ride. But we went down there Sunday. 15 minutes before we got there, bottom fell out, flooded the track. Cam sent me a message and said, "Hey, it's wet. I told him I'm coming on anyway. I wanted to do this for this special occasion. We got to start highlighting these tracks, man. We got to start getting the word out there." And I'm not calling anybody out on this, but Alabama motocross tracks, step up your marketing. It's terrible. I'm just being honest with you. It's your marketing's terrible. All of you. I'm calling everyone out right now. You don't like it. You know my phone number. Call me. Your marketing's terrible. Step it up. And
as a student with a marketing degree, I can't fully disagree with you on that statement.
Cool, everybody. Once again, that was shameful.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Well, we got to get these tracks out there. I spent Sunday. I spent a few hours there with Cam. It was raining, coming a flood. I spent a few hours riding the side by side around, and and he's got big plans. He said, "Hey, could this be a facility?" And I said, "You're absolutely right. It could be. I mean, there's everything there that could lead into that. There's a good track. He's got plans to put in another track. He's got a pit bike track. He's planning on putting some hookups in. Is it down the road? Yeah, maybe so. But hey, let's get these guys out there and start riding the place now, ripping it up. And listen, for anyone listening to this podcast right now, if you have a complaint or you have an issue or you have something that you can suggest, Cam Devaney is not one to turn you around and say, I don't want to listen to your crap. Come on, sit down, have a respectful conversation, and I guarantee you that guy is going to listen to every word you got to say and consider everything. Like he's one of the good guys in motocross, in my opinion.
I agree. Cam's a great asset to Alabama motocross. He is for sure.
So yeah, enjoyed it. Jesse, you said you was only 30 minutes.
Yeah, Dodge City is very close to me. It's actually probably a little less. It's probably, I think I can make Dodge City in about 2025 because I know when we do the Coleman Arena Cross, it's about a 35-minute drive. So, yes, we do have every intention and plan to get out there. We just between sports outside of racing and work and everything else, it's just we haven't made the time. But like I said in last week's episode, all the pictures and videos I've seen, I know pictures and videos don't do a whole lot of justice sometimes, but I see no complaints either. And like I said too, with new tracks, there's a lot of kinks and tweaks and bugs that's got to be, worked out. That's why I've always tried my best not to be too quick to judge on new tracks or new facilities or anything like that, because I'm just as guilty. I have been to new tracks before. I'm like, God almighty, I'll never go back there. And I go back 5, 6, 7 years later, and I'm like, whew, this is actually pretty good. It's just, and it's like Shane said, new restaurant. You may not like the first time, you may not like the second and fifth time, but sometimes it does take time to get the flow going and all that. So, and plus, like I said, I've known Cam a really long time, and I know he's going to do great things there, and I hope he does. I'm really rooting for him and pulling for him because, like I said, I think the guy lives there. So, as far as building a facility, that would be.
He does live there.
I don't know. I
think he does.
I know
I think they just moved over there or something. I think they did.
Well, I know. So Troy down at Crossbone, he's been the only one that I know of that's like, other than Jordan at Monster. But, for the longest time, Troy was really the only person that was like, kind of like, hey, we really are open 7 days a week, Don't get me wrong, 50% chance it's prepped or not. But I know when he advertised prep, it was. But as far as just going to ride somewhere, even during the week at any time, and I noticed Cam's been doing that. I mean, for one, that's a ton of dedication. And for him to be able to do that is awesome because, the whole during the week practice has died a long time ago. Warrior was one of the last tracks that were doing night practices or practice during the week. I know Mill Creek did it for a while too, but practicing during the week, which as I became an adult and working, hats off to all the parents that's able to make it work and go practice somewhere during the week, because that is tough.
Yeah. And it was during my era of motocross here. There was no weekday practice. I mean, like I could go to Sand Mountain maybe on a Thursday night, but other than that, I've never seen week practice. War Eagle down here does some weekday practices, and they did back a couple of years ago. But to drive 3 hours to North Alabama or 3 hours to South Alabama, it was hard to do after school to get weekday motos in. So for Cam to have that in that Coleman, North Alabama area, it's great for those kids.
Yeah. See, I'm part of the spoiled era of motocross because when I started racing 10 years old back in 2000, this is no joke. When Troy Miller used to run Warrior back in the day, he ran it for many, many years. No lie, on a Wednesday night, he would have anywhere from like 30, 40 to 60, 70 people on a Wednesday night practice, and he practiced every single Wednesday. Yeah. And I'm talking about for years. And I just noticed the older I got, the less people that were showing up. So at once was 30, 40, 50 people. By the time I got on big bikes, around the CB class era, there was 10, 15, 20 people, and so, yeah, I was very fortunate to grow up in that era when week practices was a popular thing.
Yeah. I did too. We had somewhere to ride of course, I didn't ever venture down that far to Warrior or anything, but we had somewhere to ride every single night almost up here if we wanted to. Like even if it's just a small track, just being on the bike, small track, Mount Nebo was Tuesday night, Spring Creek was Wednesday night, Danny Cox was there. There was somewhere to ride, and let me ask y'all this question: do y'all think that has hurt the amount of riders we have going from small bikes to big bikes? Because like used to, I felt like there was a lot of kids that, they graduated through the steps and like they had somewhere to ride and they kept them fun. But it seems like now we get this disconnect after small bikes. We have the kids come up through the 65 and 85 ranks, and then our big bikes. I mean, I've watched Jordon go on victory laps with one other person in his class that have raced before, just because there's just no, first of all, there's no A class hardly anymore unless you put on some money. I mean, if there's money involved, yeah, them boys will show up. But like, do y'all think that's a disconnect? Like just the access and not having somewhere to constantly ride your motorcycle is kind of that, or is it maybe just economy, or maybe it's just kids going to work there? I mean, maybe it's something different, but I just feel like there's the lack of access is kind of a reason why kids kind of start to fade out.
Yeah. I'll go ahead real quick, Jordan. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I'm a big believer in the economy. I think economy has impacted motocross as a whole. And once again, I'm not a political person. I don't go into politics and all that, but it's just obvious. Gas prices $6 a gallon. Dirt bikes costing $8, $9, $10, $11,000. Pickup trucks, trailers. I mean, at one time when Jonathan Dove, Drew Askew, Chad Ward, Kendall Mason, and them, when they used to show up to the track with 3, 4, 5 bikes, you know what I mean? Like, it was, I don't know, like the era was just so different, and people are, I mean, struggling to afford just one bike nowadays. I think that has a lot to do with it. Now, toward your question as a disconnect from little bike to big bike, I think the sport has gotten harder, and therefore, since maybe a lot more people are seeing, hey, this really ain't going to turn into anything. Let's start doing basketball, football, baseball, golf, whatever. Let's just enjoy life and use this as a hobby. If that makes sense. I mean, you're still going to have kids chase the dream, right? And hey, hats off to them, hammer down. But for a local scene, like what me and Shane's talking about, when we grew up in the era of having Warrior on Tuesday, Mill Creek on Thursday, Bremen on Thursday, and then somewhere the race on the weekends. Yeah, my opinion is my main answer or thought would be economy, but that's just because everything's got more expensive. People that's lost jobs over the years, of course, motocross is going to be the first thing they throw away or put down. That's just my opinion, my thought, my answer. Jordan, if you got anything different, go ahead.
Yeah, I think your answer is pretty valid. Definitely that 2008 era, 2008, like that we seen change. That was a little bit before my time, but I've studied a little bit through the history to see if that's going to reoccur. I know we've seen the COVID stuff. Are we going gas prices going up? Are we going to see this happen again? I don't know, and I hope not. But I guess to answer your Shane's question with another question, and this will probably even give a little bit more insight to the listeners, is why do we only have 5 to 6 elite riders in Alabama, in my opinion. Why do we only have 5 or 6? So that leads us to the next one. So it's just like, is that because they're not riding as much? Why is there a disconnect between the elite guys and the maybe the guys that are trying to get to that level? And I've had a lot of people come to me and say, it's like, hey, we don't have week night practices at Warrior anymore. Hey, we don't have week night practices here no more. These kids ain't riding as much, but the top tier in our state, they're riding more than ever. They're raising the bar and stepping farther away from our average local kid. And it's competition. It's natural growth. It's part of it. It happens in life and it happens in motocross.
No, I'm right, Jordan, because without being too blunt, and this is not a knock on anyone, but yeah, our talent is falling drastically. I talk about it with my dad every year, because in arena cross, we've been doing arena cross almost 22 years, and it kind of, on one side it's like not that big of a deal, but on the other side it's like, yeah, man, where's our talent? Where are these people going? Are they laying down? Are they quitting? I do think the lack of the local practices throughout the week has a little bit to do with it. And like Shane's point of kids not sticking with the sport longevity wise after little bikes, getting onto the big bikes because they're more expensive, the competition, whatever the reason being. It's a little sad, honestly, because I'm not tooting my own horn by no means, but and I kind of like that I can say this, but my era of AB class was Chad Ward, Drew Askew, Jonathan Dove, Jonathan West, Tim Castrone, the Miller brothers. I'm sure I'm forgetting other people. Shane, yes, hey Shane. But I'm just saying, like, there was not. It was rare for me to go to an Alabama State Championship Series race and there'd be less than 5 A riders. Like, that was rare. I mean, we averaged 5+. Arena cross, same way, 5 to 10 A riders on average. Does that have to do with money on payout or whatever? I don't think so, even though I've heard people talk about it. Payout's been the same for 25 years plus. It's always been 100% payback. What people don't realize is that 100% payback is based off how many people are in that class. If you've got 3 guys, you ain't coming home with a whole lot, Jordan, right? So,
yeah, I know for a fact that's about our average here.
To have 10, 12 guys in A class, isn't a lot. I'll never forget one of my best weekends of racing. But when we used to do Friday, Saturday night arena cross racing, on a Friday, Saturday night at Coleman, after Saturday night, I came home with like $400 because I had top 3 finishes in both classes, both nights. Yeah. So four races total, 4 main events total. After 2 days, seriously, I was around $400. I mean, that was awesome. Nowadays, you race both A classes and 25+, and you might make $130, $150, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And as for me, I hear about these stories. I hear about the Dove. I hear about the Ward. I've heard about the John Boy month. All these Askews. Yes. All these guys that they had these classes back in the day, these A classes, to show up to a local race and to have these guys to race with. That's epic. And that's the reason those guys elevated themselves to the next level from the stories I've heard. And really, as I said, we haven't got that yet. Now, I'm hoping this new crop of riders, we see the McLeans, we see the Harts. Who else we got, Shane? Do you have any other names?
I want to throw Kaysen out there already.
Yeah, Kaysen. But I said, coming up in the next few years that we're going to have an A class, that we're going to be able to show up to the local race.
Hey, Colin Holbrook.
Yeah, as I said, all these guys. I'm getting older, but I'm so excited to roll up to an A class gate, even if I'm then 30+, to race a legit A class. All these stories I hear from back in the day, that's awesome. I just really wish we had that in today's times.
But here's the problem I see, Jordan, and I'm not I'm not knocking. I'm not picking. But you say Landon Hart's. I'm just Landon. I'm picking on you for just 1 second, buddy. Okay. Hey, what you're doing is awesome. You're hauling. I love seeing it. I love it. Landon used to race with us. He used to race the Alabama races week in, week out. I have, and this is just me. Both of y'all correct me, people. When you see this, correct me in comments. But like, I'm using Landon at a local out a very long time.
You know why?
Why?
Because he's got to chase that fast kid. He's got to chase that next person. And if Jordan or McLean or Bugsy or who else you want, I mean, if those three don't show up, maybe you can add a fourth or fifth one. If they don't show up, who's he racing? And if you rise the schoolboy one class, who's he racing? I mean, literally,
nobody.
That's the problem. But what you did say, you did touch on this. You think the talent level was better back then. I want to disagree on that with a little bit because I had this conversation. Sorry, Steve Hollingsworth, I'm calling you out right now. He argued with me on this. I don't think the talent is any different. I just think there's not a vast amount. I think you still got comparable guys through the eras, but like I just don't think you have the numbers.
No, 100%. Now, when I said the talent then now, no, it's no better or worse. No. It's the number. You're exactly right. Now, with Steve, I remember reading yours and Steve's little debacle about it. Steve's old school, right? He's been around.
Old school, yeah.
One of the OGs, Steve.
OGs, yeah.
I'm calling you out. You're one of the OGs. You, Troy. I know my dad came in just a few years later. Timmy, all them OGs, right? I just think that I don't know how to word, and I can't answer for Steve. Like I can't speak for him, but I guess the only thing I can see, what I'm trying to say for Steve's point of view, Steve will correct me once he sees this. Maybe it's the type of talent when you had people like Clark Stiles, John Boy Monk, Chad Ward, Drew Askew, Jonathan Dove, all have pro license, race national supercrosses. That's 5, right? How many? I mean, I know we've had 100.
I could get into that. I could get into that now about that pro license stuff, but that's a topic for another day.
Well,
we.
Yeah, well, the thing about it in that all those eras, it was what made that era so good is because all those guys was within the same age bracket or close to it. I think we still have that. We still have that talent here in Alabama, but we're spread out, and eventually we're all going to end up together. I can't wait for the day,
but
like you said, to have those kids on all the same gates together.
Why are we so spread out? Like, what's the?
Well, I've got it.
Are we not on the Wheaties or what?
I've got it. No, I've got it. There's too many classes.
We can't get off on that now. We can't get off on that.
If you wonder why we're not racing together, there's too many.
Well, no, look, A and B's together now. We're AB All-Star in Alabama.
We are running maybe 5 more classes than we did 20 years ago.
It just doesn't seem like it for some odd reason.
And now look, to an extent, too many classes, not enough classes, whatever. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it because you still got your A, B, C, D. You still got your schoolboy youth. You still got your 85, 65, 50s. They've taken away 4-stroke and they've taken away 30 plus. It's now 35. They've taken away 45. It's now, or 40, now 45, whatever. They've actually eliminated classes in the last couple of years. I don't know why is the talent so more spread out? Why do we only have one Colin Hallbrooks on 65s? Why? When we used to have 2, 3, 4, but now I have not seen out of Alabama, and I'm probably going to get shot for this, I have not seen a more talented 65 rider than Colin. I've seen some pretty close. I've seen some fast kids on a 65 out of Alabama. I personally have not seen one like Colin. So where's the other Collins?
The other Colin is what Shane called Colt Martin, Talladega's only.
But he doesn't race local. That's the problem. He doesn't race local enough. That's the thing.
Look, listen, I forget about Colt because I don't ever see him local.
Exactly. It's the difference between a local and a national rider. And to me, you put those two on a track like McClarty's, they're very similar riders. But guess what? When you go to like a national, why is it that Colt has a little bit more? Maybe it's between the ears because he's doing that national thing every single big gate, every single big race. And Colin is a local kid that has the talent to go to that next level, but just doesn't all that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's two separate ways, to go about that.
Colin has proven he can because he did.
Correct. He has. Correct. It's just, I think it's just you see Colin more and you don't see Colt. But like I said, it's just and listen, I've got a child that's going through this now. The mental motocross game has gotten ridiculous. Like, and I want to have Mike D on talking about his thing, his mental coaching later on. But like, what takes a person from being just a complete badass local to being able to compete with the people he should compete with on a national stage? And we go through that, and it's here. I know, but is that a disconnect between the local kid and the national kid? Is that some kind of disconnect there?
Yeah, I think it is a gate drop thing. If you're used to gate drops with 5, 10, 15 max people, and then you go to qualifier regional, any other type of 3-4 day week long national, and you got a full man 40, 42 gate, absolutely that's mental. And the more you do it, the more you get acquainted with it, right? I mean, that's just kind of.
I think we've gotten worse.
Say what?
I think we've gotten worse this year. I don't know. We started off woo, and then
because I've been there. I do just fine with the 5, 10, 15. But I will say this: every time I lined up on the gate, whether it be me and one other guy or me and 41 other guys, I got the same butterflies. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's all here because I've seen some of the best riders struggle in between the ear department.
Do y'all realize we started this segment talking about Dodge City, and now we're talking about mental racing, the mental aspect?
Well, no, yeah, we can wrap this up, and I want to wrap it up with this one comment because I don't want us to think anybody. I think everybody in Alabama, including these kids, it's work ethic. I mean, these kids can do it. But I'm excited to see the generations collide. I'm really excited to see the Colin Holbrooks, and we could see in 6 years being in the A and B class. I'd say
he'll be there,
and then Kason Taylor, Braxton Hallbrooks, a lot of these kids that I'm forgetting too, that are eventually going to be elite kids in Alabama, I believe. So I'm excited to see it, and for me, I'm excited to hopefully see a gate like you used to see back in the Doves, the Wards, that era. I just really hope to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that caps off that really well.
Yeah, we just got to keep it. We just got to keep them on the gate, and that's the thing. Like we got a lot of talent here. You know what I'm saying? Like the 50 class is loaded. I mean, it's loaded. The 54 to 6, the 57 to 8, sliding into that 65 class is loaded. That our cream of 5 to 8 year olds right now, I think is your next big. I think is their next big wave of speed.
I hate to say it, but the 50 class has always been loaded.
Yeah, it has. But and like I said, that goes back to our disconnect,
Yeah.
So we had a little controversy this week, and I'm not going to throw too many names out there, but everybody's seen the post. Everybody's screenshots don't lie. It was sent around everywhere. We know there's some animosity between King of the Mountain and Alabama Series, so I'm not going to touch too much on it, but so Red Dirt Road posted they were practicing this weekend, and I guess the King of the Mountain posted it on Red Dirt Road's post that, hey, round 8 of McClarty is this weekend. So I don't even remember what this post said exactly. It was little emojis like, you can support your track or they'll close sort of thing or something like that. There's a little bit of animosity between the two. Guys, are we ever going to get that back together again, or what? We've got. Listen, I'm calling them out a little bit because I think each person involved with both series, they all bring something to the table that we all need. Us as Alabama racers, we all need. I don't know if a powwow between everybody is in store here soon, but obviously there's been some animosity after the combined races this year. Do y'all think that comes back next year, or what's y'all's professional thoughts? So, like I said, let's not throw anybody under the bus here, because, like I said, they all bring something that we need for this, and I think their heart maybe is in the right place sometimes, but maybe sometimes their head gets the better of them sometimes
This
too.
on our supporting local track / business section.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
Jordan, I'll let you take this one real quick, and I'll follow in behind you when you're done.
Yeah, and yeah, what can I say about this? Because it does. I mean, it hits home to me a little bit because I'm one. If you're gonna ask, I'm a fan of Alabama motocross, and I want to see Alabama motocross do well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the series drama is not good for the riders, in my opinion. I feel like we're splitting. I've had the people make the comment to me, "Oh, you're running this series. Well, you can't come hang out with us at the other series." And I'm like, "Whoa!"
I heard
was
that.
like, "Yes." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes." I had somebody, and I'm like, "That's not what it's about. This is Alabama motocross. Yes, we might be in split series, but we should all be fans of Alabama motocross." And I just feel like the track owners need to be on the same page. We need to work together, and because we do Alabama motocross this year, everybody's seen how big it is. The kids that are coming through, we've got to take this talent, grow with it, and I think with the combined series working together, I'm not opposed of two different series, but I definitely think we need to be working together, and it would benefit the track owners and the riders.
Yeah, for sure. Jordan, do you have any solution? As you know, you're at a track every day. Do you have any solution? I mean, I personally don't have a solution. I brought the problem up, but I didn't have that's I guess a no. I don't have a solution to it right now, other than maybe a powwow between third party and both I guess both representing parties of each series. Do you have a solution of any kind? Putting you on the spot. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's definitely something I've thought about. Like I've been through a lot of college classes, and I've actually done college projects on the numbers like of motocross through what we talked about through the 2008 era to now, to have that 700 entry race at McClarty's. I've looked at numbers. As I said, school projects. It's something I enjoy to do. But what would be the solution? That's a tough one. And I wish I had the answer, but yeah, I think sitting down, having dinner together, let's talk Alabama motocross, let's all be friends, and then we can put the business face on. I think that's what we should. I think that should be first step, because there's a lot of these track owners that have been to North Alabama tracks, but they may not come to South Alabama. Like we, as an Alabama track promoter, as a fan of Alabama motocross, we need to go out. We need to support others. We need to support the other track owners, if that makes kind of sense. But yes, for a one straight answer on how to fix this, I don't have that.
So coming from being a track owner, or my family being a track owner for at one time 15 years here at Corner, there is a solution. What it is for today, I don't have an answer for that either. But to kind of touch on what used to be a solution in a way, not getting too detailed with it, is every year the track owners had a track owner meeting once a year. They discussed new rules, same rules, sponsorship, race dates, all kind of stuff. I wish I would have sat in more of them back in the day, but being young, I didn't care, whatever. I sat in a handful of them. Back then, yeah, I mean, everybody got along, everybody agreed or agreed to disagree. I don't know how to. I really don't know how to say this without it sounding how it's probably going to sound. But when we had corner, Troy, I'll say this, Troy, back then it was Troy Miller, Steve Hollingsworth, a couple other people that drifted away. And then when we came in with corner, after a couple of years, my dad just kind of took the series under his wing and ran, and like we just ran with it. My dad's very well organized. He's good with people, good with control and organization. A lot of that, and you can ask. Once again, guys, I'm just speaking on my end. You can ask a lot of track owners today that had dealt with my dad or was in series with him. He kept a lot of it together. He was kind of almost like a glue. And then, don't get me wrong, it wasn't perfect. There were still issues. We still had problems with tracks and owners and this and that and the other. But if you kind of pay attention, when we closed down corner, it wasn't long. 2, 3, 4 years when the split series came about. We had our own controversy back in the day too with another track. I'm not getting into that, but anyways, so today it's nobody can agree on the same thing. Nobody can agree to disagree. I think there's a little ego involved. I think there's maybe some seniority that's trying to be used, this, that, and the other. Some of the guys want to bring in something new. The other guys like to keep it the way it's been. You know what I mean? Some people's for change, some people's not. I think that's why we got that split series. And like Jordan just said, the whole traveling north and south, at one time that wasn't a problem. Because like I said last week, we used to have up to 12 tracks in one series, and we traveled all 12 of them. Majority people did. You don't have that no more. I have raced McCarty. I've raced Crossbone. I went to North Carolina. I've been, it's been a couple of years, but I went to Mill Creek just to ride a couple of times. And, I want to go to Dodge City. I want to get up there. But another thing is, I think sometimes the riders, parents, whatever, I think which I know they make the race, they make the series. Without them, there would be no race, there would be no series. Vice versa, if there were no track and track owners, there would be no races for these riders and parents to go to, right? I think sometimes the customers, right? I think they try to get too involved with the business, the people who own the business, right?
From a relationship standpoint, or what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, there's nothing wrong with having a good relationship with your local track and track owner. I'm not saying. I think that's great if you can. I guess I'm trying to get at is the naysayers, the ones who are always negative about something. They always causing an uproar or bad morale, whatever. I don't see it as much today as I used to, but I don't feel like at the same time that those people are being handled very well sometimes.
Yeah. You haven't been on Facebook lately, huh?
Huh?
You haven't been on my Facebook lately if you don't want to see some negativity.
I'm tired right now because
I'm on mute. So yeah, here's another thing too. I like you touched on the ego thing. We've all got them. But if we can figure out how to come and that was the thing we harped on when we started this podcast, was like we kind of wanted to bring the Alabama moto community together a little bit more. It seems like, man, it's so bad because you see one side supporting this series, one side supporting this series, and then all of a sudden a Facebook post comes along. Normally it's on my page, and then somehow you got this side fighting this side over something that's so kind of stupid. But
because I do think that is one big problem is social media.
Whoops.
I'm just saying. I think it's I think it's I think that is a lot of the problem because, I mean, my dad has had people call him or try to text him, be like, so and so on Facebook, da 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 da. And my dad's like, hey, whoa, time out. I don't have Facebook. I don't use it. I don't care for it. On to something next. What actually matters?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So did you see? I know you've seen the post. I know you've seen the post because we talked about it. You commented on it. Was it 2 years ago we made the post? I made the post with some input from about 10 or 12 people. I made the post talking about how the series needed to come together, this, that, and the other. We need to get this, that done.
I remember.
And you commented on it about the Ringer Cross. Now I don't want to exclude Arena Cross from this because Arena Cross is a special circumstance in my mind.
Yeah.
It's a special circumstance. But for the Alabama Motocross Series, the two mains, which I know King of the Mountain's not all entirely Alabama based, but it's it fades in and out of the Alabama territory. We called for I don't want to say demanded. We called for several things to happen. And this is what we as motocross riders wanted to see. We maybe come together for a race or two, and I think the A class was an issue at that time. The payout of the A class, and it slips my mind as to every little point we made on the whole thing. But I distinctly remember one of them be, hey, come together, figure it out, come together for a couple races. And I think the first one showed that, hey, look, we're, all those changes we asked for the majority. Now, of course, you can't get everything you asked for. And I was not speaking on my behalf. What everybody thinks, I was not speaking on my behalf whatsoever. There was input from everybody. I took everything and put it into one post. And I hate to be coined that guy, but when people come to me for problems, they know I'm not afraid to say them. I don't. If it's from either series, come to me. Hey, if I had to put it on Facebook, it'll come out. We'll get 2,000 comments or whatever it is. We'll go from there, and then hey, we're gonna get traction. We're gonna get attention, and I think we got that this year, and we showed what we could do that first round of McClarty's. Now, I'm a little guilty myself. I know I want to say they had one more, maybe two more rounds together. I wasn't able to attend those. We were doing qualifiers or something. I don't exactly know at that time. I don't know what the turnouts were for those, but the solution baffles me, and I don't know. I don't know myself, but we can do it. I mean, we showed we can do it. Whatever it may be, hey, I'll call these promoters out right now. You want on this show? You want to come together? We'll talk about it. But we'll ask, hey, you be professional. You speak with respect to each other, and that's the way it should be. And I think that would go a long ways into getting, these two series just mapped out. And I want to throw this out there. Jesse, you're an old guy like me. Do you remember the Big Chill series that had a North and a South division? Like maybe do something like that. Fewer races. I don't know. Each track wants to get theirs, but like maybe do a mini series. It's like a North and a South, and we come together at one track and we race. We had I don't have it here. We had like Loretta's looking bibs that had North on the back of it, and so many in the points got to go represent their class. At that championship race. And that was a fun time. I remember going toe to toe with Hunter Mims the entire series, and then we had a blast. And he ended up winning one class, and I won the other class. And we got to meet at the championship race, and it was like this big deal. And we had these nice trophies. And don't get me on this tangent about trophies either, because I'm about tired of plaques, y'all. We need some trophies in our lives, okay? My kid,
you get the trophies.
Was that? Yeah, trophies. Yeah, no, dude. I want to take you. I know you got them. We got those trophies. Those trophies, man. My kid, I don't think he has but like 2 or 3 trophies. They're all plaques.
Let me help you out with that real quick. And this is from a business side, and a lot has to do with cost, obviously.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So for one, trophies are a pain to deal with.
Putting them together.
Yeah, I mean, putting them together, loading them, unloading them, sorting them out, blah, 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 blah. Plaques are, oh my God, they're so much easier. But as far as cost effective too, that's why a lot of people have went, and even a lot of other people have went to those cutouts, which I do like the etched
Some
out.
are neat. Yeah, some are neat.
Where are your trophies right now?
They're in a bonus room, tucked away.
Hey, box in the shed.
Right
yeah,
here.
I've got a couple that I can pull out real quick, but the majority of them, all your little 4th, 5th, 3rd place trophies, you don't have them.
No.
But I still got all my plaque, or most of my plaques, and I've got all my number 1 plates, right, Jordan? I'm sure you're the same, but it's a storage issue. It became a cost issue and all that. I'm with you though. That's why we still do the trophies at the end of the series. You get the real big.
Maybe cut down on the participation trophies. A kid that finishes 5th, they're not going to cry over not getting a trophy for 5th. Maybe just do 1 through 3 and call it a day.
So it's funny you say that. I went to my first local race, or I say local, it wasn't Alabama local. I went to a CGI facility on the North Carolina Georgia line, and dude had a pretty neat little setup. He did a night race. The track was probably the size of the Fayette track that we build. It had a nice little flow, nothing hard. Anyways, long story short, he only gave out 1st through 3rd, and I was like, I haven't seen that in a very long time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always, my entire career, it's been 1st through 5th, and I don't know why. I don't have an answer why it's always been 1st through 5th, but do you not think you might well, I ain't gonna say lose anybody, because you're still gonna show up and race if you want to race, but 1st through 3rd versus 1st through 5th, you know what I mean? Is it really worth it? I don't know, but
we don't even go get unless it's a big race. If we have some goober problem or something, or maybe we just didn't ride good that day, we don't go get no 4th and 5th. And that maybe I don't even tell my son that there's a 4th and 5th place. Like, they don't offer that. Sorry. Like, and he's fine with it. He knows, hey, if I get 1st through 3rd, I get a trophy, and he's fine with that. Which, I mean, or I get a plaque or whatever. The participation award era is upon us. Whatever. I literally watched a race give awards out the other day for 40 places. Was it Fly Racing Series, which is a cool series, and they have stupid crazy gates. There's like 40 in every class. It was absolutely stupid.
Back to the series thing. If we want to replicate a series, Fly Racing Showdown that Illinois does, that is the bomb right now. 1,000 entries on the weekend.
1,000.
That's incredible.
What's drawing them? What's drawing it? Fly.
Fly is a big asset to it, yes, but their banquet, white tablecloth.
It's just like I said in last week's episode when we used to have Kawasaki contingency. We averaged 400 entries a weekend, and we were having 15 plus in a class.
There's contingency now.
No, but not in the series.
Yes, there is. King of the Mountains got it. They got Yamaha, Kawasaki.
Yes, but there is catches. There is catches to that contingency, as it was back in the day. Also, about how many bikes are on the gate, how many bike brands of that manufacturer is on the gate.
Hey, with Kawasaki, the bike couldn't be no more than 2 years old.
That's the same now.
Still same.
I think it was either 5 or 6 people or more in the class, and you got $1 a point on your credit card, on your Kawasaki credit card, or a Honda, whatever. And Tuckeraki, just like how we used to do flying and Renacross, at the end of the series, however many points you accumulated. So if you accumulated 300 points for the series, you got $300 fly bucks or whatever, Tuckeraki bucks and all that.
Yeah.
But like that series you're talking about, I haven't heard of it. I don't know anything about it up in Illinois, the fly series.
It's huge.
But just hearing it and the way y'all are talking about it, the first thing that comes to my mind is fly. How much money they're putting out for that race. What are they offering that our locals can't afford to offer? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's right. And Fly, I'm sure, I don't know the number, but I'm sure they bring a nice check to the table to sponsor that series, to have their banners put out there, to help pay for trophies, to help pay for that banquet. The banquet that the Fly Racing Showdown holds at the end of their season, it's incredible. Like I give it to them. It looks like it looks like a big college football banquet. It looks like something Nick Saban would be holding.
Yeah.
So it's they do a good job with it. I haven't got to get up there and run one. I hope to, because I think that'll give me great insight on maybe how could Alabama be better. And
let's make a trip. Let's just plan as we call it, the Dirt Lab Boys trip. We'll bring Jesse along, and we'll go up there and show him how the Dirt Lab Boys get down at a race, and take him up there, and let's see. Let's help. That's what we're here to do. This podcast is made just for that, to help our local businesses. I want to throw this out there again. Trevor Dunn at Dirt Lab Concepts has graciously given us a promo code. It's 1 lap down for 15% off your next order. Support him, support all these local businesses, and hopefully we get some more on board here to help us keep this podcast going. And
I want to touch on I know that the local track / business was, and we can just briefly touch on the business, but like Shane, I know you'll have a lot of input on this, but I try to support my local business, not mine personally, but my local shop, Philip over at Dollar Cycles. He's been working on mine and Ripton's bikes for years now. Does a bang up job. Parts Unlimited. I think he has Tuckeraki as well. 100% is one of his biggest brands. Does awesome service. That's just like supporting your local track, support your local motorcycle store too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just as guilty as a good internet sale, right? We all are. But at the end of the day, they don't care what kind of problem I have.
No.
Right?
No.
But Shane, with Optimum Power Sports, I don't know what you deal with day in, day out. I'm not on that side, but I do get to see the Dollar Cycle side because my wife works there. One of my best buddies owns it. And I can tell you right now, hats off to them guys, to people like y'all, because that crap's tough. And, I try to promote Dollar Cycles as much as I can, not only because of what he does for me and mine.
Yeah.
And just because he's, a good buddy of mine, but just having that local motorcycle store that is willing to go that extra mile for you and have stuff in the store to actually put your hands on and touch it and try it. And and if you just want to stop by and shoot the crap for a little bit, you know what I mean? Especially.
Yeah, that's the best thing about motorcycles.
Yes, I know.
Flipping through, you hang up there for a couple hours.
Might get a sticker, but last minute you need oil, you need 2-stroke oil, you need air filter oil, chain lube, brake lever, tear offs, whatever. It's literally it's 10 minutes from my house, if not less.
Yeah.
You can't. The internet thing. You just gotta be prepared for it, and you just really gotta know what you're buying. But I'm old school. I like putting my hands on it. I like seeing it.
Yeah. And I don't do exactly what Philip does up here. I actually do more part outs, and I do service work on bikes, foilers, and honestly, if we're being totally honest here, my biggest money maker is boats. I do more boat stuff than I do dirt bikes. That's just the region I'm in. I've had to branch out into that. I sell a lot of stuff on eBay. I do used part sales and that sort of thing. But I get people call me all the time, and they're like, they want to check prices or something. And I'm honestly, I had to just tell them, I said, look, I can't compete with the internet, but if you want to come in here and, see who's going to support your local ball team, if you come ask me, I'm saying, that sort of thing. Like we got to keep these businesses going. And I think there's a lot of people in Alabama that are on the motocross train. It's a lot bigger than, of course, I stayed in Tennessee up here. Y'all know as well as I do. I come south. I come to race you boys down south, and I try try to support all my businesses along the way. I've been, of course, like I said, we've harping on Trevor because he's given us his promo code, but I've been with Trevor for about 4 or 5 years now. I met Trevor back when he was with Backyard, and now he's with his own company now, and I've stuck with him, and he's done a great.
Trevor does Dollar Michaels graphics too. He's been dealing with Philip over there for a couple years now. And I'm going to tell you, I got his graphic on 4 of my bikes, or mine and Ripton's and our pit bike. I'm going to tell you something. I mean, they're quality just as good as Roos, Decal, any of the big name companies, and he can put whatever you want on there. He done a bang up job on my bike because I still ride an old dinosaur, but when I've got people asking me what year it is because they can't tell, I mean, I take that as a compliment. Plus, that's a lot with Trevor's graphics. You know, I mean, I called him up one day and was like, hey, this is what I'm shooting for. This is what I'm going for. This is what I want it to look like. He's like, all right, cool. Give me a couple of days. And with probably the end of the week, he done emailed me probably 2 or 3 different styles and color combos. And I'm like, dude, you don't get that anywhere else. You know what I mean? And I know he's got tons of other people calling him and bugging him just as much as I was. But for him to take the time that he did to bring my thoughts of what I wanted and actually make it happen was huge.
Yeah, full custom graphics at Dirt Lab Concepts. I'm gonna put the promo code below. Again, said I've been very happy with mine. Trevor's been a good friend to us. He actually got his first Loretta Lynn's title this year. What was that kid's name? Dawson Cobb.
Yeah, yep, 125C and 250C. Yep, and
Hey, was that the kid that won 450C on a 125?
No, that wasn't him, but that dude's a ripper. I'll give him that.
I was pulling for that kid all week long for everybody on a 125 in the 450C class. Like, I thought that was just epic. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I want to give him a shout out too right now, real quick. He actually got included in the what was it, Jordan, the Vital survey.
Vital survey to rank the graphics throughout the a lot of other industry companies.
He got a shout out at Vital Vital MX. Being one of the top graphic companies, and this is only his really second year in business. I guess starting his second year of business. Really proud of him. We know he's dealing with a little injury right now. He sustained. He was in the same moto with Jordan there in 250 Pro Sport, and they also rode College Boy together. He's dealing with a little injury right now, so he's actually in the studio hopping up some graphics all day long right now. He don't even get to ride his dirt bike right now for the next few weeks.
So hit him up while he can.
yeah, hit him up right now. Use this promo code for 15% off. Like I said, we're proud of him, and we want to jump into. I guess we got 2 more topics we want to cover tonight, and I know we got off on a tangent here with our sponsors, but we got to thank them for keeping us going. So far, so good, and so Jesse brought up this topic here, and kind of want to discuss it a little bit. What now?
I said we're gonna make it a 2-part because
2-part.
Talking about the CD thing.
Yeah, 2-part. C and D class. I'll let you take the reins on this one, Jesse.
Oh God, don't put me on the spot. I was hoping both of y'all would have some input, but I just, you made a post about topics, right? And I seen a bunch of people commented on what they wanted to hear and hear us talk about, which I think is awesome that people just commented to hear us on what they want to hear us ramble on about. So sensitive topic, my opinion, is C class, D class. Look, I rode C class. I had my fun with it. I had my glory days with it, but the whole CD thing, I know a lot of people look at D class for comedy. I've been just as guilty in the past myself. But I'm hitting it on a little different note. I know Shane and Jordan they'll have their own opinions and stuff, but the whole D class thing, like, I do see genuine people out there riding it as they legit just got started. They didn't get to ride or race dirt bikes when they were kids, or they weren't fortunate enough to do it like we were. So that's the only option they got, right? So they're doing what they can, whatever. I think it's sometimes I think it's cool, and other times then you get the people that sandbag it, right? And they think that they're going to be the next Ricky Carmichael, Vilpoto, and I'm just like, dude, you just need to pump the brakes and chill out for a second. But so just I guess what I want to say is, as far as the D class, just kind of keep that in mind that you started somewhere too, and I promise you didn't start out being a James Stewart or a Jordon Fancher, right? So then going into the C class, once again, I had my glory days in C class. I had good results at certain races, whatever, and I've had some of the most traumatic crashes and races in the C class. That's the crazy C class, as a lot of people call it. But
C class is wild, bro.
Say what?
C class is wild.
C class has always been wild.
No, I think C is worse than D. C class, wild.
So I kind of think so too. And I'm coming from the real quick. I'm going to touch on the arena cross side of it, because
that's even worse.
in my opinion,
the arena cross side is very unique compared to our arena cross series is great because it's the gateway. It's the gateway, the Alabama motocross.
Well, the C class is basically, God Almighty, don't shoot me, please, but especially in the arena cross, I see a lot of C class being D riders eligible to jump.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing on this too. All right, so C class, you're coming out of D class. And let me throw this out there. D class, first year riding. You've been riding for 1 year. Get the crap out of D class.
Hang on. Real quick. What about your older vet guys who have only been riding a couple years and they don't care to do any more than just that?
They ride 30 or 35 or 40, 45, 50. They ride vet class.
That's just as fast though.
Well, I'm going to say this coming from a vet class guy. We don't rub near as much as I don't want you near me sort of thing.
But now I will say, I guess I had to think about it for a second. I guess I would have had to agree with you that their danger percentage lessens in the vet class.
100%. And to go back on my thought here was C class. You're coming out of that first year of riding, and a lot of people that start riding the D class are older. You actually pick up speed faster, right? So a year in, you've been riding and you're getting a little bit of confidence about yourself. You're moving around. You're using the bike. You've got bike control down. Well, that's when you're stepping up to C class. And then for some odd reason, I swear to you, the C class guys get more attitude about them than any class I've ever seen. Listen, I'm calling Bailey Graves out for wiping out the entire class last year. There's one of the most spectacular things I have ever seen in my life. I don't even know how he done it. I'm calling you out, Bailey, but literally the C class is that every single moto. Sometimes it's like in arena cross, I'm watching like the D class, they're still weeble wobbling. The C class, it's downright like it's cutthroat. Like it is like every time they take off, you need to have your phone up. Like it's like who's gonna take out this person? Like who is gonna? And they get. I mean, not calling any names because I love him now, but like when Dawson first came to C class, everybody knows and everybody loves Dawson Lindsay. We love him now. Hey, he had a little growing up to do. He's done it. I'm calling him out now because I'm very proud of him. I was one of those dudes that grabbed his helmet, started screaming at him right in his face at McClarty. And you know what? He has grown up more than listen, I'm calling him out and I'm going to praise him in the same sentence. I'm very proud of the maturity that young man has progressed in his riding. He's gotten downright good. I mean, he's getting fast. But anyway, back to the C point is like C C class, they got a little attitude about them, and like I got a
Right.
story. What now?
No, I was just agreeing with you. You're right. I have noticed that in the last handful of years that the attitude with C class today or nowadays is I don't know. It's strange.
It's more like, and I got a story, and Jordan's heard this story 9,000 times probably, but so I tore my ACL back in 2017, and I literally just bought a KTM 125 clunker just to get back into riding, and I just missed it. And honestly, I bought it to jump freestyle ramps. That's literally the only reason I bought it. I had no intentions of racing, and then a week went by. Next thing you know, I'm on a track. Then a month later, I tear my ACL on a stupid injury. Well, I do my healing, my surgery, and all that stuff. What comes around, my first race back is Priceville Arena Cross. And here I am lining up on the gate. I just bought a YZ250F, and I literally had an X on my front number plate. Like I hadn't even ridden. And young kid there, I'm going to call him out right now by the name of DJ Graham. He's one of our buddies. Calling him out right now. We took off the line, and I'm leading the race, and I had nothing. I had 2 laps in me, maybe 3. Well, I'm leading around, and I knew it was coming. I made a mistake on like the second or third lap, and next thing I know, I got punted off the side of the track so far. Like I landed over by the gate somehow, and somehow got back on. Like I didn't crash. Like he come into me full blast, T-bone off the side of the track. I went. And that's the night I met Jake and DJ Graham. I pulled over to their trailer, and they thought I was going to fight them or whatever. And I said, "Hey man, good race. I'm proud of you. That was a heck of a pass. I left the door open. That's my bad, whatever." And that's how we become friends. But that was in C class. Like I'm going to call myself out here. I was one of those dudes that wrote the letter to my AMA dropping back because I hadn't ridden in 8 years. Yeah, call me out, whatever. It's been 8 years since I touched a motorcycle. Okay. 8 years.
No, hey, free zone.
Yeah, judgment free zone here. Like, okay, I'm back up to speed now, but at the time, vet speed. Let's call it that. I did pass Jordon Fancher one time.
I did too.
Right. Do what, Jesse?
I said I did too until the gate dropped.
Well, this was in practice, and it was not.
I was one sight lap in, man. I like my sight laps. I've learned to take sight laps. And Shane didn't take a sight lap.
I was wide open, boy. I was like,
I give him
that
props.
22 is going to be behind me at least one time in my lifetime. And so yeah, but C class, man. Like I said, it's like I'm not going to say D class with attitudes, but like they're starting to get their feet underneath them, and it's like, guys, y'all scaring me. Y'all scaring me to death. All right.
Yeah, and I get where y'all are coming with this, but I look at C class. There's 2 divisions of C class. You've got your national level C class, and you've got your local C class. Now, where the issue comes in is when one of these national C class riders, which I was in this boat at one time, as my brother is now, that you show up to a local race, hey, you're a sandbagger. You're a sandbagger. Well, little does most of these local people know, you show up to a national event, hey, we're 20th. We're mid-pack.
Yeah.
And but it's hard for some people to understand the caliber of riders they have at these national events until you go. And that's something good about Alabama motocross now. We're getting out of Alabama. There's more people riding national events every year. We had a record number of 23 Alabama people with Alabama addresses at Loretta Lynn's this year. That's incredible, and the most ever.
Yeah, we touched on that in the first episode. So where do you think the disconnect is at? I mean, like, is it people moving up too fast at their local level, or is it people not moving up fast enough at I mean, like I said, there's a disconnect somewhere because we don't have as many A and B riders, I feel like, as we used to. But C class has got plenty. I mean, is it like we talked about this disconnect the entire time between the classes? It's just we got to find it,
Yeah, and I feel like in C class, you're still able to be a weekend warrior and be competitive.
Yeah,
that's where we're funneling all of our riders into a C class, because you can be your average Alabama local weekend warrior and be competitive. Holt Kennedy showed us this year. It's another one
Beast.
that he was.
Proud of
as
him.
I said, he went he went. I mean, he's a full-time student in high school, like, and he does it. And I mean, it happens every year. And when it happens every year, these kids are realizing, hey, it's possible. Hey, it's possible. So that's why we're seeing so many C classers from Alabama, which I enjoy to see, because it does after C class, you're bumped up to the AB All-Star at our local level, and that's the reason I think we'll see that class getting bigger.
Yeah, the C class, I think, also is when I say this, I don't mean the actual riding the actual class, but I think it's more of a comfort thing sometimes too, because when you leave C class going to A and B, your entire racing changes. I'm talking about when you were winning C class or top 5 in C class, and I'm talking about local or qualifiers, regionals, whatever, but you go to B class and you're very rarely do you see a C class guy jump to B and he still be right there mid pack or better, right? But so what I was going to say is that jump from C to B is so drastic, my opinion, from D to C. And we're going to talk about AB next week's episode. I don't want to get too much into AB because I wanted to make this a 2-part. But just to touch on it real quick, I think a lot of it's that drastic change from C to B, and I think it's a shell shock too. I mean, I think you're coming off you're coming off a high horse in C class, and you get to B class, and you're getting crushed. Your dreams, your hope, and everything.
Yeah, and it happens to most all. It happened to me, and I try to tell the kids now, like, hey, you've got to stay headstrong. You can't come out of C class with the same mindset that you do going into B, because it'll knock you on your butt.
A good comparison, if nobody's watched it, y'all need to find. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a James Stewart short documentary, basically. And he talks about when he dominated the 125 class on a 2-stroke, especially his last year in 125 class when the 250S were everybody was on 250S basically. And he was still dominating on the 125. And when he jumped up to the 250 class, and he stayed on that 252 stroke, because he said it in his mind, he thought he could still be the front runner on, I guess, what you would call a lesser bike. And he admits that he was wrong and stuff like that. It's pretty neat. If you ain't watched it, you need to watch it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of kids don't realize. They think it's going to be an easy transition. And like on social media, we go back to social media thing. Most of that social media don't show the struggle, which, I mean, every kid has struggle. Yeah. As I said, it's not, you've got to grind through it. You've got to overcome it. And the skip from C to B class, for me, that shows me, are you going to work hard enough to become a B class guy at Loretta's, or are you going to fade away and eventually find another hobby that you enjoy to do? And right now it's important for a kid like Holt. I just use Holt for example, and I've told him this. I was like, dude, what you've done this year is incredible, but I said next year you've got to work twice as hard.
Yeah.
I was like, he's in a crappy situation in my mind. Like I have a hard time believing that. I feel like they got these C class rules just a little bit wrong for kids like Holt. I mean, Holt is not ready for that B jump, in my opinion, and he's forced to it because he rode the 125C. I think if you make that 125C, you should get to come back and race 250C, because he's still a kid. Like he's still a kid. I mean, he's maturing every day, and I'm super proud of him. But like that's what I told him at Colton's track the other day. I said, "Hey, buddy, you're in B class now," and he goes, "Don't remind me. Don't remind." I mean, it's a hard jump. It's cutthroat. I mean, I know going to B class for me was cutthroat. Like your friends started to turn into people that if you're a competitive person, your friends started to turn into people you disgusted, because every weekend it was like, God dang it, I know I got to deal with him. It's like every single, and they don't care. They want to win. And it's like, it's harder to come off the track as friends, in my opinion, the older you get. Like it's hard. And I think, and the older you get, until you get to the vet class, and the vet class, we don't even care. Hey man, you survived those 5 laps. You did great. But like, those CD, CB, and A going to that, it's so cutthroat. even at the local level, everybody wants to win so bad that, the I guess the animosity is a greater. It's always something. It's it's and there's always an Instagram post talking shit about this person from this last week's race or something like that that's went on in those classes, and it's like someone like Holt, he's going to get thrown into that at a very young age.
No, and I get that. I guess Holt, Jake Duanez, he both of those kids was our C class kids this year. I don't know if we had another from the state. Seth Eubanks.
Seth Eubanks, yes, right.
But yeah, but those definitely those three kids, I think they're ready for it. But thing about it is that they've got to have the work ethic that's ready for it, and that's every kid that's moving up. I mean, any kid can work hard enough to become a B class rider, elite, to win in the local stuff, to even competing at the national level.
Yeah.
They can do it, but you have to change your mindset. You've got to be mentally stronger and have the work ethic. That's it.
100%. Hey, and you can help them out with that down there at Monster Mountain Training Academy, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're here.
All right, skipping topics a little bit. Let's get off that. Last one for tonight, and we're gonna get out of here. We went way over our time, but hey, who cares? Hour and 35 minutes.
So longer than last week.
listen. Last week with this video better get 1,000 views. We got the freaking Alabama's favorite son on here the entire episode. Yeah. We better have minimum 1,000 views, and I know my phone is blowing up like crazy.
I'm sharing like I've never seen Sharon before. Sharon is caring, people. Let's go.
Sharon is caring. But like everybody's like, hey, when's the podcast coming out? When's the podcast coming out? Like, I mean, tomorrow. Like we'll try the best we can to get it tomorrow. But anyway, my last topic is about this pro. We've covered all the local stuff. We want to cover, and I want to jump into the pros. Everybody's seen what happened this weekend. Jet Lawrence capped off an amazing 250 run, and we had the best generational talent. We've had the best 450 battle going down to the wire that we've ever seen in the motocross. The closest points differential. So Jesse, we'll start with you. What do you think about the 450 class?
I want you to go ahead. I want to go ahead and hear it from you on your Facebook comment the other day.
Oh crap! All right, fine. I got shit for this. Everybody was like, "We do not." So Tomac or Sexton had a good little 2 or 3 second lead, and he was driving through. And listen, I'm gonna talk about Pulp for a minute, or we're gonna compete with Pulp one of these days. But Pulp said Tomac was so smart to let Sexton get into the lappers and then run him down. Listen, if y'all didn't see those lappers hold Sexton up, I don't know. Sexton was obviously faster. Did y'all miss that?
Well, I don't fully disagree with you, but if he was obviously that much faster when Tomac did get around him, Tomac put a pretty big gap on him, though.
Yeah, but by that point, mental, the mental state of that is he's gone. Like somebody catches you from behind, and the mental state is gone at that point, in my opinion.
Because I watched it. I watched that particular pass 2 or 3 times, and I should have watched it today just to be freshened up on it. But I kind of sort of feel like Sexton, and I'm no pro rider, so whatever. I feel like it's a poor line choice.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of it. But in an interview with Tomac after the race, he admitted to it. He's like, I sat back, I seen the lappers were coming, and I used the lappers to my advantage. Now, he admitted to that in the interview. But the thing about it is, you've got to think the mindset of Chase Sexton in this moment. Why did he gap him so much within a second? You got to think, when that pass was made, it almost kind of, I wouldn't say blurred Chase's vision, but kind of shocked him. He was in panic attack.
Yeah.
Well, that was a $1.3 million pass, in my opinion. If that wouldn't have happened, Chase probably could have won that moto, and maybe in the second motos he wouldn't have panicked as much. He knew that he had to go. He rode this over.
He freaked in the second moto. Like he
was trying to hang it out over the edge, and I think those lappers cost him the Honda check. I think is $1.3 million is what I'm hearing. That's just from Honda, so that's pretty incredible. But that's the lapper. He admitted to the lappers, and yes, I think Chase is. It's hard. Even when we get past like that, we've all done it. It's like it takes the air out of you a little bit.
Another thing is, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the closest Chase has been to a championship, and it's probably the best season he's had since being on 450s, right? He's
by far.
He was a fifth place guy. In the title, he was a fifth place guy for the last couple of years or whatever.
But even across, all the bad luck he's had, the crashes, this, that, and the other, he's obviously proven the speed's there, the talent's there, this, that, and the other. Now, would you say that would that be his maturity? Not really maturity. Would that just be like his race knowledge versus Tomac? Because Tomac has, let's just be honest, Tomac's been in a 450 game for an extremely long time, and I feel like he's just now, within the last couple of years, starting to be successful with it.
I've talked with people close to Chase's program, and they talk about how hard of a worker he is. He's out there early. But it's amazing to me the step he took this year. I don't know if I could remember a 450 rider that took this big of a step from his Supercross season to his outdoors. To run with Tomac, and in my opinion, Tomac's best Tomac's ever rode, and he keep Tomac honest, chase down Tomac some motos. It's almost unbelievable to me. Like it's so hard for me to sit back and be like, because it's like if he found the secret to it. I don't know if there's a secret, but Chase Sexton rode incredible.
Cooksey says steroids.
Yeah, and I don't believe that.
I don't either. That's crazy talk.
I think it is. It's Chase's work ethic to raise him to this level, but it's incredible. I enjoyed watching it.
So, what's y'all's thoughts and opinions on this particular outdoor season with Tomac and Sexton obviously being the two front runners, gapping everybody almost every race? Would say y'all haven't seen something like this since the Carmichael Stewart Reed days outdoor wise?
Villapoto. Well, the problem with Villapoto is he didn't race a lot of outdoors. Like when he rode outdoors, he won. But
every series that Villapoto was in, if he wasn't injured, he won.
He was dominant. But think about this though.
Well, I'm just talking about. I remember the Villapoto days. Obviously, he was extremely dominant, this, that, and the other. But I guess what I was trying to ask is, was Sexton and Tomac, I guess
like a duo, maybe?
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Like, Villapoto would singly gap everybody. Carmichael would singly gap everybody. So would Stewart. Villapoto, I'm talking about like when Stewart and Carmichael used to lap almost the whole field, and I know Reed had a small run in outdoor where he was pretty good, but Tomac and Sexton, man, the third place guy, I know sometimes like Anderson would be within time, but like you're talking 10, 15 plus seconds on third place, just about every
moto. Dude, and this was the first moto was a minute.
Yeah, that's right. And toward the end of the season, a lot of these guys do melody in, and I get the minutes a little over what what their normal would be. But for my opinion, at least in my era, I wasn't much of the Carmichael. I watched a little bit of the Reed and Stu era. That's when I got into the sport. But no, I have never seen two guys dominate an outdoor season like this, for sure.
But think about this though. Sexton would have absolutely dominated this series if not for one of the greatest motocross racers of all time being in his path.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
yeah, I see that, but I mean, let's say if we had a full healthy field of Adam Cincerella, Dylan Ferrandis,
true.
like where I don't know. I think if Tomac wasn't in this, there would be another guy that would still push those limits with Chase.
Who would you pick, AC or Ferrandis?
Why, if you think, and I'm not arguing, I'm just kind of extending it, but if Tomac wasn't here, you think there would have been somebody else pushing it with Sexton. What's the difference with Tomac being there or not? Why wouldn't he be the third guy that's out there pushing it with him?
And I think there would be. I don't think we had Jason Anderson. I think if he would have had a better year to kick off the season, he may would have hung with him a little longer.
He won the second round.
What? Yeah, I know, but I mean, he still made mistakes. I think did he have a DNF earlier in the year or something? No point motive.
I just remember he won like the second round, or I watched it. Literally, I was sick the other night, and I was watching the old motocross, like the season recap or whatever. When he went like 2-2 or maybe 1-3 or something, won like the second round or something like that. Yeah. I don't remember where.
But yeah, I'd like as those two. Yeah, I think there would be somebody step up. There's always the cream rises to the top.
What's y'all's take, real quick? And Shane, if you want to end on this or whatever, what about the MX Nations team?
Strongest we've had in a long time.
I agree.
Yes, and the weakest field we've raced in years.
Yeah, I think if we don't win it this year, it'll be kind of embarrassing. We've got the best field. If Cooper's Cooper, I feel like we could win by a long shot.
So is Hurlings is not racing, right?
No. Hurlings is out. Tim Geyser is out. Roxon's out.
Who?
Yeah. Tim Geyser, Roxon, and the whispers around the pits are Dylan Ferrandis is out too.
Yeah, he's out. His back is hurt. So I honestly think we should win. And I think you're going to look at Australia being right behind us. Who else?
You don't think France is up there?
France is going to be good if Caroli's
because France, a few times. I mean, they've won it the most out of the last 10 less years.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and a sleeper pick even without Jeffrey Hurlings is going to be the Netherlands.
Yeah,
the Netherlands are going to come in if.
I don't even know who's on that team.
No, as I said, it's still a good. I looked at the lineup. It's a good roster of guys, especially if the track turns into more of a sandy track like it did in 2019, the last time they was in America.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could see this that could really benefit in the Netherlands.
Hold on, Jesse, you're breaking up. What'd you say?
I said, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
2019 was a little bit of a mutter, though, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Well,
wasn't that the Glenn Koldenoff show that week?
Yeah, Koldenoff is great, and he's going to be on the Netherlands. That's one that's on the Netherlands.
Oh, yeah. Who's their 250 guy
though? Is it Vial or no? Vial's on France.
I have no idea. Dude, I don't. The MXGP, love watching them ride. They have some hellacious wrecks. They don't know how to lay it over in a turn. They go crazy when they wreck. But I love watching them. But the coverage over here is terrible. I mean, we just don't have. I mean, like $189 to watch them for the year or something crazy like that.
YouTube, baby.
Well, after the fact, usually, after the fact. So. But yeah, I think the MX Nation. I think this is our easiest shot at it. Like I said,
I'm not cashing in a win, but I really hope so because it will. It's only going to get tougher for us, I think, as more European riders come over. Because I mean, we see Vial's already signed a KTM contract for Supercross and outdoor, so he's going to get really comfortable with our riders. And then all these guys like the Launch Brothers, hey, we prep them throughout the year, and then we have to compete against them at the Motocross Des Nations. So it's
hey, real quick on that Tommy Vial thing, how many rounds do you think he makes before he crashes his race?
Well, there's gonna be a few wrecks in there. Yeah, I imagine.
Soupy's in
I think everybody. I think a lot of people in the industry realize that, but I mean, Vial can be a great rider, but it's the same way. All those MXGP riders, they hang it out.
They do.
Now
That's the thing, yeah.
It's just on a Supercross track. You've got to tone it back, be a smooth rider. It's he's going to have to learn, but I think he's going to be a good one. I think he can come over at least run up front starting off. So,
all right. Well, guys, I think we've gone an hour and 49 minutes, I believe. I think we've kicked some ass. We covered some good topics tonight. I want to thank Jordon Fancher for coming on with us. We've had some technical difficulties to start out, but we finally got everything situated. We hope we can provide a good show. Me and Jesse will see y'all next week. Hopefully we have a surprise guest for you. I'm sure we'll have somebody on next week. We'll have some topics that you can write in if you want to hear something. Appreciate all the questions, and of course we want to thank all our sponsors once again. And don't forget that promo code 1lapdown, 15% off your order at dirtlabconcepts.com. Ultimate Power Sports, Dollar Cycles, Cowtown Cattle. Forgetting everybody. Is that it? Monster Mountain. You want to say anything?
Yeah. Come visit us at Monster Mountain Training Academy, and I'd like to thank a couple of my sponsors: 228 Motorsports, Delaney Protective Coating, Dirt Lab Concepts, 100% Thor, and just a few of the guys that helped me out throughout the year. So thank y'all, and I appreciate y'all having me tonight.
All right, man. All right, thanks you guys. We'll see y'all next week.